So what I want to talk about in this lesson are cylinders. So a cylinder looks something like this. So it has a radius. So remember, the radius is from the circular part of it, from the point in the middle out to the circumference. And then the height is from the top right to the bottom. So if we had something like this, imagine we had a cylinder and it had, so imagine it had so it has a radius is equal to 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters, and it has a height of 12 centimeters. So its height is equal to 12 centimeters. And if you're asked to calculate, let's say number 1, they ask for the volume, and then number 2, you are asked for what's called the total surface area. Okay, and we'll just abbreviate that as TSA. So how would you go about getting the area of a cylinder like that? And that's what we want to talk about in this lesson. So to get the area, if we first of all focus on volume. So to get the volume, so the volume of a cylinder, and we have a formula for it. So volume is equal to pi r squared by height. So pi r squared multiplied by height. So what we can do is we can use this formula to calculate the volume of the cylinder. So we have radius r is 5 and the height h is 12 centimeters. So what we can do is we can just plug these into plug them into our formula. So what would that look like? So volume is going to be equal to the volume then is going to be equal to pi. So pi times the radius, which we've worked out as 12 centimeters. So the radius is 5 centimeters, so it's 5 squared So volume is going to be equal to pi r squared, which is 5 squared, multiplied by the height, which is 12, multiplied by 12. So what we can do then is we can just work this out. So this is going to be pi times, so 5 5s are 25. So it's pi by 25 multiplied by 12. So we have 25 by 12 is 500, so that's going to be pi times 500. Sorry, that's pi times 300, should I say? 300. So we can say that the volume then is equal to pi 300. And we're dealing with centimeters as well. So centimeters. So it's going to be centimeters cubed. Remember, it's important to get your units correct as well. So that's how, if you wanted to work out the volume, you can then work that out. You can just put in pi into your calculator and multiply by 300. But this is the volume. And another way to kind of think about it is, it's the volume or the capacity of the cylinder. So in this case, it's the capacity of the cylinder here. So the next thing we've been asked to look at then as well is the total surface area, which is this guy here. So total surface area. So the total surface area, if we think about this shape here that we have, so if we were to break it down and turn it into a net, for example, you're going to have the top and bottom circle, so something like this. Imagine you have two circles like that. And then, so that's, let's say, the top, this top part, and then underneath is the bottom part. And then you have this kind of cylinder around here, which would be like a rectangular shape. Something like this. Okay, so we know that if we want to get the area of a circle, it's going to be pi r squared. So that's going to be pi r squared. So this is going to be pi r squared. So this length here is going to be h from here to here. And then if you take the length from here to here, that's going to be 2 pi r. So it's going to be 2 pi r. So what we're trying to do is we're taking this and we're trying to get the area of all of these surfaces together. Okay, so if we think about what would that be, well, we have two of these, so it's going to be 2 pi r squared, because we have two of them. We have this and we have this. So we have two of these, the bottom and the top of the cylinder. And then we have this piece here, which is going to be this by this. So it's going to be 2 pi r by height. And what we can do then is we can actually combine this together and make a simpler formula, which looks something like this. So this is equal to 2 times so it's equal to 2 pi r by height plus r. So we can use this formula here to get the total surface area. So what we do is we just identify what we have. So we can see that the radius is 5. Okay, so the radius is 5, and the height, this height is 2 pi. The height is 12 centimeters, which is this here. Okay, so we can just plug in the information that we have into the formula. So what would that look like? So it's going to be equal to 2 times pi times the radius, which is 5, multiplied by the height, which is 12, plus the radius, which is 5. So it looks something like that. So we can multiply this out. So 2 pi times 5, that's going to be equal to 10 pi times 12 plus 5. And then what we can do is we can multiply. So 10 pi times 12, that's going to be 120 pi. So we're multiplying this by this, and then we have to multiply this by this. So 10 pi times 5 is equal to 50 pi. So what we have then is we have the total surface area is equal to 120 pi plus 50 pi. And if we add these together, that's equal to 170 pi. So the total surface area, so the area that's covered by these surfaces in relation to this cylinder that has the dimensions, that has these dimensions 5 centimeters and 12 centimeters, it's going to be 170 pi. So they're just two formulas that you can use in order to calculate the volume and the total surface area of a cylinder. And again, these formulas are going to be inside in your logbooks as well. So it's just important that you get familiar and use the logbooks. Okay, so thanks for listening.